What is you ducking down for?
Hush, I'm trying to be incognito.
Incognito?
Shut, girl. Yes, that's
We ain't going to no incognito this weekend.
Bam, hush. I have to be on the low.
Oh, what kind of low?
I have to be on the low because I'm on the wall. Look on the wall.
Mabel!
Bam! Shut the... Hi, officer.
Hallelujah. That's boo too. That's
Do we
Madea.
have to start
I know
there?
Tyler goes, do we have to start with that? Yes, we do. But we have other stuff. It is the 10th movie in Tyler Perry's Madea franchise. Last month, the picture opened at #1. That's why we're starting with it, grossing more than $21 million in its first 3 days. Go you. The entertainment mogul is a mastermind behind 19 theatrical releases, 20 plays, and 7 TV shows. He's also, oh, by the by, a best-selling author. Perry is just out with his second book. Higher is Waiting is the name of it. It's a collection of inspirational stories and teachings. It's meant to help people enrich their own lives. But in 2013, we featured Tyler Perry in our very special Note to Self series. He wrote a letter to his 13-year-old self, encouraging him to climb higher to get through tough times growing up.
As I search your young face for any sign of myself, believe it or not, I'm able to smile. Because just behind all of that darkness, I see hope. You've got some kind of faith in God, little one. I know you don't know this right now, but who you become is being shaped inside of every one of those experiences. Every one of them. The good, the bad, yes, and even the really ugly ones.
And it got really ugly, too. We're happy to welcome Tyler Perry back to Studio 57. Good morning to you, Tyler.
Good morning, Gayle. Thank you.
It is good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you.
What I like, #1, this book is so candid, but you made a point of mentioning the note to self and how it affected you. Because I always think of us as a viewer watching it, how it affects us. It didn't occur to me the effect it must have on the person doing it, but it really affected you writing that note to self.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, looking at those young pictures of myself and actually, because it wasn't just an exercise, it was actually talking to my younger self and letting them know they would be okay. It was a part of it is very healing. And I've since passed that on to a lot of people and friends who are going through. I said, you should try this because it was really a catharsis for me as well.
Well, you talk about it because in your life, this is a very personal book.
Yeah.
You write about your childhood, a life of discouragement, unthinkable abuse, you said, and belittlement, especially from your father, Tyler.
Yeah.
What did he say to you? What did he do to you? And how did you get through that?
Well, what didn't he say, or what can I say on morning television? But, you know, for him, having a third-grade education and the difficulties that he went through as a child growing up, he had no references to be a father. He was a wounded man trying to raise a wounded child. But he would say all kinds of things, and there was all kinds of anger and abuse and beatings and things of that nature growing up. But looking at it now, I understand. This I was able to forgive him because I spent some time trying to understand where he'd come from and what he had been through. Once I was able to get that information, it allowed me to have even the possibility of being able to forgive him and put all of those things in the book.
How did you have such deep faith?
My mother.
Yeah.
My mother didn't have millions of dollars to give me, but what she had was great faith. She believed in God. She believed in Jesus. She would take me to church. And I'm grateful for it because what I know this day is that if you don't give your children something to turn to, they're going to turn to something in hard times. So for me, the gift was she gave me God. I didn't have to turn to drugs or any other thing to get relief or make it through.
You dedicate this book to your son.
Yes, to my son.
But read, Charlie, how the dedication is so beautiful.
Yeah, I had it right here.
For Amon.
Yeah, for Amon, hold on. For Amon, my son and son, a beat of my heart and healer of my soul.
Yeah.
It's like your dad taught you how the dad not to be.
Yeah. He taught me in reverse. If I wanted to be a father, I didn't have, one day I was very frustrated. I'm like, how can I be a good father? How can I figure this out? And I realized that if I do the opposite of what he did, I'd have my answers. So when I call him my son, my healer, he is definitely that, because as I look at pictures of my young self and I look at him, every time I say I love you to him, I'm saying I love you to the little boy that I was who didn't get that love. Every time I hug him, I'm hugging him. We look just alike in this photo.
It's like you get a second chance.
Yes, that's absolutely right.
By looking at your son.
Absolutely right.
In the book, you talk about trusting your soul GPS.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, it's just like when you get in a car, you put your navigation into where you want to go. There's a satellite above you that's guiding you. You don't know how you're going to get there, especially if you've never done it before, went to that destination before. It's the same way, I believe, like in prayer and faith and for your dreams. You put that into whatever's your soul's navigation, and let God be the guide, be the satellite above you that guides you through everything to get to where you want to go.
But Tyler, you now officially have an empire. You've bought a big Fort McPherson Army base that is going to be bigger than Warner Brothers by the time you're done with it. But you talk about the days of living paycheck to 3 days before paycheck.
Right.
When you were living in your car.
Right.
Yet you still kept thinking, I'm going to make it somehow.
Yeah, there was always a spark of faith. And that goes back to tremendous faith and my mother, just having that moment, because no matter how dark it got, she always took me to church, and we always believed that things would get better. And I totally have her to thank for that.
He runs 5 miles a day and listens to country music. I didn't know that about you, country music.
But that comes under the title of Take One Step at a Time.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me what you mean by that.
Well, just if you have a dream and a goal and hope and you're trying to get to it, I'm the kind of person, I want to see major changes, big broad steps all at once, but sometimes it's one little step at a time that will advance you further. Sometimes you get pulled back and you have to just take one step at a time, but you have to also applaud and pat yourself on the back every time you make one step forward, because it is leading you to a higher place.
You give a good analogy about trees.
Yeah.
Trees are very important in your life. I think this is a good definition. You look at people as trees.
Yeah.
And some people are leaves.
Some people are leaves. They come into your life for a season. They're there when the wind changes or blows too hard, they're gone. Then there are people in your life who are branches who are attached to you a little better, but you don't know how much they can handle until you really put some weight on them. And if you put up too much on them, they can break and leave you.
Yeah.
But what you want in your life are roots. And roots don't have to be seen. People don't have to know that they're there. And if you have a few roots in your life, you have just enough to keep you sustained and keep your life healthy and full and grown.
I was surprised in the book you said you accept criticism, that you're open to it, because when I would call you with concerns about your movies,
Yes.
you would say they're not made for people that live in Greenwich, Connecticut in TV room. That doesn't sound like somebody who's accepting criticism.
I'm open to criticism, Gayle. Gayle will call me after the movie. I got concerns about this one.
Okay.
Oh, Gayle, it opened #1. Thanks.
It's all about trusting that soul to
That's
listening
right.
to country music.
That's
Tyler
right.
Perry,
That's
thank
right.
you.
God bless
And
you.
Hire is Waiting is on sale now.